This is Rob Bortuzzo, and you're listening to Missin Curfew.
What's Missin Curfew? It's when you kind of play guilty, but you show up.
How nice is a green light on the road, though? No practice tomorrow, no plane, just go.
Scottie Upshaw in the clear, and he scores! One in front, scores!
A few laughs, a little bit of fun, and obviously a lot of hockey talk.
You're listening to Missin Curfew.
Fellas, coming to you from Hall Pass Media in Newport Beach. This is Missin Curfew. And before we start snapping around, let's not forget the show is always presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Fella.
Holmes and the Up Dog in studio guest today. It's always nice when we get someone to come into the friendly confines of the Missin Curfew studio here, right?
No, it is. And
Pretty juice, if you ask me.
and more to jump on that is that, this is a guy that's going to, jump in with us. That's always wanted to come on the podcast. He's a Stanley Cup champ, Obes, and he's always been like, you know what? I'd rather be in the studio with you boys.
Yeah.
And well, he's a busy man. And so, the opportunity is here today upon us. So he's in town doing a little scouting. And I thought, fucking Bobo, come on by, fella. See the studio. So as he walks in, he sees the confines and is quite impressed. He looked around. He's going, fuck, you guys have built like a nice little, home away from home, a little man cave, so to speak. And it's always nice, as you know, to just shoot the shit together in here. So we're pumped to have him.
Yeah, it was good that he found time. Like you said, recently retired. A couple of teams out there that, as you hear in the interview, I talk about the Leafs, I think, with them. Maybe, could use them on the
And after watching him skate in Aspen, bud, he still snaps it around. And not just
I was too busy winning my third in a row there. Well, Forsberg. You guys had a lot of guys on your team.
A lot of guys.
Forsberg, he's a beauty, man.
Isn't he?
But he may be the only guy slower than me out there. It's between me.
He's got a fucking wonky foot.
Me, him, and Rick Barry. Bears, I love you.
Bears, I love you too, but I think you're faster than Bears. I would say that, given the fact some of these teams, are weak on the back end and they have no toughness, that's what this guy provided for your squad. He provided energy in the room, leadership. He'd block shots. He'd fucking lay down on a 2-on-1 like no one's business with that long, lanky arm and stick. Fuck, there wasn't nothing he couldn't touch with that thing. But, just an ultimate team guy, fella. And one of my best teammates I've ever had, a guy I still keep in touch with. He's a student of the game. And, we had Peter DeBoer on a couple of weeks ago and asked him what like a young Robert Bortuzzo was like as a young kid and growing up. And I couldn't think he put it any better. It was, this kid was determined day in, day out to make the National Hockey League. And lo and behold, he ends up winning a Stanley Cup and had a great career.
Yeah, and it just, as the interview goes on here, you'll see how good of a guy he is. It just goes to show you if you're out there and you're a depth defenseman and you're, listen, if you're a good guy, it goes a long way for you.
Big time.
And then obviously sometimes you got to change your game, right? You got to block shots. You got to fight if you, even if you haven't. And I mean, Bobo to me, I knew how tough he was, but, for me, it was the way he would block shots, man. I was just like, Jesus. It was like nothing I really, listen, when I lay down in front of one, if it was late in the game or playoffs, or of course I would. But like, this guy 8 pucks, 82 games, and then whatever the playoffs meant, he just ate them. I'm like, this guy is, we all want to win, and we all will do whatever it takes to a certain extent, but this guy would sacrifice his entire body to block a shot. To me, that's almost more courage than fighting.
Listen, he played hurt. He was determined. He'd always have one glass of wine. He wouldn't go crazy and have 2 or 3 like me.
2 or 3 bottles.
But listen, that's just a guy's guy, man. A guy's guy. Went to his wedding. Yes, just a bunch of the beauties there. He's on golf trips with us. That core nucleus in St. Louis was a special group of guys, characters, as Bob was going to talk about. And so it's about time. I like, I always like shooting the shit with Bobo, put you in a good place because he's always got a smile on his face. He's always got funny things to say. He remembers a lot of shit too, which is always good for me because you
don't remember anything.
I don't remember anything. And he to me is just someone that I just want his name out there. I want him to be remembered as a great teammate. And now in his post hockey career, he's doing good things with the Blues. And yeah, fucking A.
So when you say one glass of wine, you mean at dinner the night before a game?
He'd
Or
grab a glass of wine, he'd keep it tight.
but what about after a big winner on Saturday?
On the bird after a nice win, he'd probably have, he'd
Like
keep
he
up.
can go.
Yeah, he go for sure. He can go.
Could he go?
Keep it tight.
Could he go like when you first started? Like, okay, let's say you're in LA and you got a day, you get the Upshaw schedule and you got a couple days off. Like when you first met him, could he go, or like would he look at you and be like, "Holy
No, well, no one can go like
no, I know."
or I'll put you in the category.
Right.
But we did a
But you-
30th birthday for him at Bottle Blonde in Scottsdale.
On
at the
the
time.
spot.
And I had it dialed. We came in, I already had we got these nice big Missin Curfew signs here in the studio.
back then.
We had fucking big pictures of his head that the waitresses brought out with the bottles.
Yeah.
Bobo 30th, just a send off out of his 20s. And
Send off.
yeah, like he was the highest performer in that night. So yeah, put him in the right spot.
All the boys chip in for that bill, or was that fine fun night?
Or
Or
a fine funder.
fine fun, or
I was in control of that.
how they let you get control of that? I'll fucking never know. Good old fine fun though, eh? Wasn't there like I never played with enough guys like you and good guys like didn't take advantage of the fine fun enough. Like,
No.
let's use it.
I know guys
What
often
we waited
waited till
for?
the end of the year
And- but
and
then-
then throw some shit party
Yeah.
with wives.
And as you, what a waste. And as you know, you get your year-end bender. It's like 2 or 3. You can only spend so much money in 2 or 3 days, and then the married guys all leave, and then us guys go to Vegas or whatever. It's like, dude, let's sprinkle it throughout the season. Let's go.
Yeah, I agree, Obes. Well, that wasn't the case here, nor the case on any team I played on. So this was a proper send-off. I think Bobo's, he's got to be on almost 40 now, but he had a great career.
Bobo's 36 years old,
36,
born in
okay.
1989.
Good for him to be young again, 36.
So I can see why he still has the itch to play a little bit, right? I mean, I
Sure.
retired at 35. I was fucking done. No fat, slow. Wasn't playing the show. But if your body still feels good at 36, he's probably thinking like, I could get out there and kill a penalty, give you 12 to 13 minutes a night, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you though, he went through a phase in his last year where he just wasn't in the lineup.
Yeah.
He was there he was there to help these young kids. He's in the inaugural season with the Utah,
Hockey club, fucking great.
They'll always have that.
Still love that name.
And like he just knew time was pushing, and he's now got a great gig, and we'll talk about that with him. But he's a great interview, and loved chatting with him.
Yeah, it was nice to have him in here. And, I just asked him throughout the interview, obviously, you played in St. Louis, you love it, like how good the alumni is there and how guys continue to go back and then their cup run. And that's just one of the things as an outsider still, I say a lot on Missin Curfew here, but like the love that players have for St. Louis, it's just like, I look at St. Louis as a road city that I would typically not even probably go out for dinner and, rest up. Either I probably went to Chicago the night before, I was going to Chicago the night. So to me, I used to like playing there. I didn't mind the rink, but and then you guys that play there and guys that are from there fucking love it, man. I'm just like, man, it's so cool. Like I would have never thought that if I wouldn't have been boys with you and got to know all these guys that played there. It's just like, they love the city.
Tough city to go in and visit as an opposing player because you stay downtown.
Yeah.
There's not much. It's a semi-concrete jungle, so to speak. Like they got a Four Seasons, but it's tucked like by the
I would get room service at that Four Seasons.
and that's a good hotel to do it at and a good city to do
Rest
it.
up.
But where we lived, these neighborhoods were great and the restaurants were great and the people are great.
Where were you again? What was it
We
called?
lived in Clayton.
Clayton. Yeah.
And then there's West End, and then there's Ladue.
What was your bar, or what? Like, talk to me.
Bar Napoli? bud.
So that
Bar Napoli.
on a Saturday night,
Yeah,
big win. You beat the Hawks at home.
yeah.
You got Sunday off. Where were you
I'm
going?
going for a pint and a chicken parm at Napoli bar, and then you just come over and you see my bartender friend Han,
Yeah.
little Asian guy. He's the man.
Yeah.
He knows Fact Daddy and me. Like I went in and seen him last year for Chasers. As soon as I came up, he's like, "Uppy, let's do some Han bombs." He does Han bombs, Red Bull fucking vodka shots.
Oh, Peter,
And
you're just
Daddy used to go buck diddy with him too. So you go see Han there, and then that would stay open till that was like a 2 a.m. sharp close down, and then I think he had another little mixer downtown at the Wheelhouse if you wanted to.
2 a.m.
tab.
2 a.m. You were ready to get back to the Upshaw stack.
And then there's another par bar you could smoke cigarettes in and stuff. Like it was that kind of grimy.
Okay.
But there's a couple watering holes that
Any live music and stuff in the Lou?
Great live music.
Yeah.
University Ave would be like the college area. And yeah, I took the whole team to see Jim James there one night. I saw, this is gonna, what the fuck? I saw fucking the DJ, the fucking
Avicii.
No, so sorry. No, my favorite DJ.
Rufus Del Sol.
Sorry, Kit. Thank you. I saw Rufus Del Sol, same barn. Walked in after a show. It was me and Bobo and maybe one other guy. And I'm still in my suit because I didn't want to miss a song. And I caught the fucking guy's drumstick, dude. Still got it. Caught the guy's drumstick in the crowd.
Did you really?
Yeah. So
Did you make a play or was he throwing it at shit? Like there's probably some shit behind you.
Caught it.
Yeah, no, you
I'll
got
bring it in and show the boys.
So
yeah,
Rufus Del Sol was there.
Yeah, Rufus plays the great bands.
Dude,
I saw
there was a clip that came across my feed of Rufus Interbloom at Tomorrowland.
Oh yeah.
And dude ups, I was like, I want to be there now, right now. Whatever it costs for a VIP booth, this was years ago, but remember like when they're still unbelievable, but remember when they dropped, like they started getting good. We were still playing the show and like,
dude, this St. Bart's trip I got back from, we had the DJ come by the last night at the house and he had the speakers, dude.
Like the start of this.
And when he goes, yeah, that dude, we were going Buck Diddy. You just get that DJ with the loud speakers and then he breaks it the way he wants. And
shout out to friends of the show, good BC boys, Bob Moses too. I love Bob Moses. Man, those guys are the best. If I could go Bob Moses, Rufus following him up, that would be my epic night of just let's get after it. Or dance party stuff.
I'll tell Bobo to some rave when we went before the Hawks. We played in Chicago.
Some rave.
It was a rave. It was on. Yeah, listen, he didn't drink or anything. Neither did I. But maybe a couple. It was at this fucking huge warehouse down on the pier. It was called like it was like the Pier Landing or something in Chi-Town. This is when Kygo, again, 2015. Kygo was like just coming out off of his, you couldn't even find his songs on Spotify or whatever, but you couldn't find those good mashups of Kygo back then. And I'm like, dude, I'm taking you to see this DJ named Kygo. He's like, what? He's like, no. And I'm like, yes, we're going.
It's on Kygo?
The night before a game with a bunch of kids. I'm talking, it was just like these indie kids. And we walked in there and I go, just trust this. Like, it's going to be good. And all of a sudden the lights and the balloons and the fucking laser streams were going. And I'm like, see, I told you, dude, this is going to be good. Now Kygo's doing these palm tree festivals and like fucking headlining and everything. But this was like maybe 500 kids in this just warehouse.
I mean, one of our biggest bills we ever paid was Kygo at Lollapalooza at that bar we went to. I don't even want to say what the name, how much the table was, but remember Kygo?
Did we go to Kygo there too?
I think, or Kygo or Avicii?
We saw Avicii there. It was Avicii there. It was when he was alive.
By the way, you want to just a little throwback for the fellas, throw on Avicii Levels.
Yeah.
And just fucking let that eat for a little bit.
That was a staple.
That was a banger. So, Up Dog, always fun. This is a good one, boys. Enjoy it. Stanley Cup champ, Bobbo, Robert Bortuzzo, coming at you next. Missin Curfew. Bobbo, my man, welcome. Robert Bortuzzo, the pride of Thunder Bay,
Saskatchewan. I said,
Scottie, nice to have you in the studio.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That was the deal with the Up Dog. I said it had to be in studio.
We've made a bunch of deals over the days. The first one I ever made with him when I stepped in for training camp back in the day on a PTO.
Don't hit me.
No, I looked at him and he's in there working hard. He's working out. You're coming off a shoulder injury, I think.
Yeah.
And I just went up to him and I'm like, hey, I'm Uppy. Nice to meet you. Like, you look like you run the show here. Type thing. Like, you're working hard. You want to go for lunch after? And he said yes. And then at lunch, we're shooting the shit about the city and the team. And I knew like right then and there, this is going to be my boy. And I said, listen, all right, you're going to be my guy. I'm going to tell you everything that I do, whether you want to keep that to yourself or you want to share it right
someday.
No, but like, you're going to be my guy. And I'm going to let you know, you're going to know what the fuck is going on. Yeah. And I immediately from then on there, I was like, this guy's one of the best teammates I've ever had. I knew he's a guy's guy and a team guy and no better guy to go have lunch with. Hey?
Yeah. That was a lucky lunch for me. He kind of, we made that deal. He said, you're going to be my guy. We kind of always took care of each other on the bench. If Uppy made a good hit or good play, I was stand up banging the board. If I did the same, he had a little thing, stand up banging the board. So, there's a big young crew of us that were kind of lucky to cross paths with the Up Dog. I'd like to say he taught us like some of the finer things in life. where to eat, where to vacation, a little bit of style, concerts. It was a lot of small town kids between myself and Thunder Bay and Schwartzy and Eddie and Ab. So, Updog made his mark on a bunch of us and taught us kind of how to do it a little bit off the ice in terms of restaurants and having some fun.
Yeah, I remember checking in with him. I'm like, who are you hanging out with there? He's like, Bortuzzo. I'm like, oh, fuck, yeah, tough guy, tough kid. He's like, oh, yeah, he's a beauty. Beauty. I go, can he keep up with you? He's like, he's trying. He's trying.
The answer's no.
I go, no, but even for the amount of time we'd enjoy it. We had a lot of time, dude, cooking. Hey, cooking
Big
at
time.
home. You'd be firing up the grill.
Golf on Sundays.
Yeah, we lived in the same building, dude.
That's nice.
He was renting Jan Stastny's house, which was, a nice little rooftop rental, a great patio with the grill. And I had just a little 1-bedroom downstairs, just a little stabbing cabin.
Hideaway.
But it was just, Obi, you played with these guys immediately when you walk in. You just feel like, fucking thank God this guy's on my team, And I'm glad I met him at this point in my life because, we were both single.
We talk about, I got mentioned kind of the finer things that Uppy kind of taught us about having fun. But I don't think what Uppy maybe doesn't know this, but he taught a lot of us, how to be pros, in the gym he gave her in practice. He was the guy who brought in treatment. A lot of us learned that to taking care of your body.
He was getting a cut of that product. Yeah, he was getting a cut of that product.
Little side piece.
He's like, boys, you gotta try this. Buy 10 of them.
Yeah, no, I was selling the biomats.
Oh yeah, we all got biomats.
Yeah, hey, great gifts. So
I
know, and then you have one, then mom and dad needs one. And buy one for Christmas.
And Uppy's was free.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just trying to bring the goodness. It's all about taking care of the body. You stretch the legs, bud. What do you stretch?
Stretch the career.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a great point by you, right? Updog, would you play 700 and some fucking games? And I give him, I bust his balls in his pod about partying, fucking chasing tail, but you can't last in the best league in the world for 700 games if you're not a pro, if you don't play hard, practice hard, or take care of yourself. Yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah. How are some of my flights, Bobo, coming back from a city? Maybe tell the listeners coming on the Bird after a trip to New York what I'd be doing, because they had a great card game. But they didn't want to play poker. You guys were
we
schnarps.
were anti-poker.
You were
13 up, 13 down. That was the game.
That game used to crush me.
Yeah, I'd get smoked in it too.
I'd play Schnarpsy with you, though.
But I'd have the whole other table basically to myself. And if Otter wanted to come sit with me or Steiner, after a game, we have a glass of wine. But you guys had your card table, and I'd just be sitting there on the other side, chirping you guys just a bit. Hey, fucking kids game you guys are playing. Let's play some Hold'em. I'd have my feet up, tight pants on.
Oh yeah. Well, next thing you know, his sleep mask gone, out for 3.5 hours. I didn't know how that was it. That was the
only time he slept. Yeah. Maybe the odd
different motor over there.
Maybe the odd pregame nap, but if he wasn't having sex.
I mean, Bobo, just to back to St. Louis and the group of guys that you got to spend most of your career with there. I immediately knew it right from the get-go that it was a special group, right? I fought my way to get on the team. We at that point, we brought in Scottie Gomez. I was on a tryout. I think, Magnus Piarvi was just coming in to the team. But anyway, your guys' the nucleus you had there was pretty special. Maybe just a trip down memory lane for yourself, for us, to just, what was it like to be a Blue at the time before you went on a little run? But what you knew how special that was right away.
For sure. Originally when I got traded there, it didn't take long to kind of figure out what the tone was there and the work this team put in and what type of team they were and the identity. It was I look at myself as very fortunate to come into a group like that. Not only good hockey players who like to work, but characters. We had Revo, Steve Ott, Kevin Shattenkirk. Then you had leaders like Bolmeister, Alex Steen, Stastny. These were just guys who kind of, knew the game on such a deep level, but knew what it took in terms of work and practice. And I'd say the biggest thing for us was just the identity we played with. Yeah. For that stretch of time, you ask any team driving the bus down to Enterprise Center, you were in for a tough night.
Yeah.
And it was just miserable playing there. And you might be grinded out in a 1-0 game.
Yeah.
But we were super comfortable playing that. We didn't care. We got joy out of the wins and then enjoying ourselves as a group away from the rink,
One thing that resonates with me about Hitch at the time, we had Ken Hitchcock, who had been there years before me, but the phone call I had with him before I came in was, Uppy, this team is at the moment in time where they need to coach themselves to get to the next place, and this team's ready to win. But I'm no longer needed. Like, this is actually their team, and you'll feel that when you come in. And just to your point, like even like Bax and Petro, like the way they played and battled and grinded out games and tight games, like Hitch was so right on that level. Is this was the players' team, and not many teams, you know, they look to their coach to be like, who's going to be, you know, what are we going to do now? That was never the case with that group.
I couldn't agree more, and that's what the best teams do. You know, you got your coach who sets things in place, but eventually it has to come from the guys in the room and the accountability, and that's all it was there. You know, if we didn't play it well, we knew why, and we made adjustments, and you know, Alex Steen was a big part of that, and you know, like you said, Bacchus and Pietrangelo played so hard. I thought Jay Bouwmeester was an incredible leader. You know, he didn't say much, but when it was time to speak up, it was you know, a pretty special message usually. So I couldn't agree more. That room kind of ran itself, you know, and it kind of gave us a chance to win for a long stretch of time. And in this league, that's all you can ask for, is a chance to win year after year. It didn't happen in those early years, but for me, those years kind of laid the foundation for what happened in 2019.
Yeah, and Tarasenko was a beast for you boys back then. That's when he was arguably, what would you say, maybe not a top 10 player in the league, but he was a
top 5 goal scorer.
He
was a top 5 goal scorer.
40 snipes he had up Dog's first year there.
Yeah.
And they were all fucking wrist shots bar down from like the half wall.
Yeah, Vladdy was a guy who needed one shot to score. He didn't need like countless opportunities. And there were games when he did, and he'd get 2 or 3, but you know, he delivered that offensive punch for us.
I was worried about the up dog when he signed in St. Louis. I'm like, fuck, this city, he's like, not going to last there. I'm like, he's going to, this, I don't
There's not enough there for him.
I don't think I've been there. I mean,
at that point in my career, it couldn't have been more wrong, actually. I needed a good group of guys, and I needed to know, like, I'm spending these last few years fucking, you know, with one goal in mind, and that was ultimately to win. We were on a mission. That was one team that I felt, you know, you look at us against San Jose in 2017. We pushed those guys in the conference finals to game 6, you know, and they had a great team. And then they lose to an incredible Pittsburgh Penguins team. But we were that close, you know, a save here or there. You know, guys getting bumped up and bruised. I shattered my hand in the first round. Brodziak's fucking playing hurt. Like, it
was a year where we all felt like we could have won it. And like Tuppy's point, you need a little luck, you need a little health, the odd save or a bounce. You know, winning the Stanley Cup, it goes more into just having a good team. So for me, it was, like I said, just giving yourself a chance every year, and that's what we did for a long stretch of time.
Bob, obviously you won the cup there, and you know, you'll be a legend in the city forever. But even guys that didn't win cups, like, well, what is it about St. Louis that, like, they have unbelievable alumni, right? Our boy Chaser, we all know he's in the fight, right? But Hawley goes back there, and even Gretz would go back, and like, even when Ryan O'Reilly left St. Louis, like, I was asking him how he was doing or whatever. He's like, I kind of missed the Lou. Like, he loved it. Like, well, what is it about that city? Like, that just makes guys want to not only play there, but retire there and then raise a family or whatever it is.
Yeah. You know, so for me, you know, in the NHL and on teams, there's a lot of kids from like small towns, and they got a special sense of community just because the size of it, or you're living in Canada. And to me, that's what St. Louis is. It's like got an incredible sense of community. The people, they're incredible. You know, a favor's one phone call away. It's getting around, raising families easy. There's just a lot of good reasons, but for me, it just comes back to the people. You know, and you know, maybe there aren't like the best concerts to go to or whatnot or anything, but you know, at the end of the day, it's about who you're hanging out with, to me, and that's what brings people back. And the alumni is incredible. We get taken care of so good between the dressing room.
Yeah,
and, you know, it's. For me, the fans in that city, they don't ask for much. They just want you to lay it on the line. Right, yeah. Just play hard. And for me, the years of success we had, it matched the work ethic and the blue collar and what the city really represents and asks for. So,
yeah. I'm going to bring you down memory lane just for a second. I'm wearing this T-shirt right now. It's from the actual bar that Larry Flowers brought you guys to in Philadelphia.
God.
January 6th. It starts with you, Steiner, Joel Edmondson, Schwartzy, and Fabry watching an Eagles-Bears NFC wildcard game in this bar, and they happen to just be going full Buck Diddy in there. You know, the Eagles getting touchdowns, and all of a sudden this song keep coming on, right? Play Gloria, Play Gloria. Steiner's like, what the fuck why is everyone chanting this song?
Yeah.
Well, that's the name of the little bar there. It's called the Jack the Jacks fucking, I just get pit up.
It's a members only bar. I've never seen like something like this in my life.
How'd Flowers get in?
I don't.
So
He fit right in.
So we're rewinding to January 6th of 2019, and a guy named Jordan Binnington, who you become really good friends with, a guy that is arguably the best, Canadian goalie now, kicking, but he plays his first game. You guys are dead last in the league. You all of a sudden got a new team song. You're playing in Philly. What at that moment in time do you remember that completely changed things for the way that group was?
Well, Binner is obviously one of the massive catalysts. But there was a good 3-4 week stretch after that where there was our practices after the coaching change. I'd never seen practices with that kind of intensity in my career. So that obviously was a huge factor between Chief and raising the temperature in practice. Yeah, which we can get into after. But of course, that was that group. It was. We were excited about going to the rink, excited about practice now because we could sense ourselves getting better. And then by the time we got to that Philly game, I remember I was stretching at the red line and Chief was kind of just waiting for us. We're doing the laps and I kind of looked down and was like, yeah, we're coming. And he kind of just nodded as he does. But, then Binner goes in. I think he pitches like a 3-0 shutout. And then his run is legendary run. And, turned into this legendary career. And so there were a bunch of little things, but between Binner and Chief coming in and changing the temperature of our game, I'd say those were a lot of two big factors.
Yeah, like obviously the play of Gloria got a lot of traction there for the boys, right? And I was like, holy fuck,
this is nationwide.
This is
NBC jumped on the story.
This has got some steam behind her, and like.
Flowers deep down thought that song was the main reason. I'm like, buddy, it's Binnington's kicking. He's like, no. If I don't bring them to this bar and they don't hear Play Gloria, they're not on this fucking run. I'm like, you don't honestly fucking believe that in your head.
He believes.
He believes. I'm like, Binnington has a little bit to do with it, I would say here, fellas. Like, no, I brought him to that bar.
It's a piece, though. I'll give it to Larry. It's piece. It's a piece.
It's all about him. He carries some sort of weird vibe. Flowers. He put himself in a spot with you guys. I introduced him to the whole squad. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But the guy went through some crazy shit in that year leading up to that with some of his best friend passing away, and just lo and behold, he witnesses you guys change things and go on this run. But Obi, we talked about this before when you were coming in, and no one loves a heated practice more than this guy. Whether it's summer hockey and some guy tries to skate wide on him.
I thought you were going to say heated rivalry. Thank God you didn't say that. Nobody loves heated rivalry more than this fucking
I'll let you dive in.
Yeah,
you had a few of these in your
Bobo,
day.
yeah,
Dude,
fella.
Listen, I obviously didn't know you yet, but I Updog, you were Updog's boy, so anybody that loved, the Updog loves, I was pulling for you. And when I played, I tried to get in one a year, right? If we were in a slump or things weren't going well and I thought we needed it, I thought it helped. And then you may have the best practice fight in the history of practice fights, man. Like all of a sudden, you get you and Sanford go into it, and next thing you know, you guys go on magical run. But like, how did it start? Like obviously you didn't have a plan, but was it just the hard practice that you're talking about?
Yeah. So there's hard practices, and then there was what that day was. We had lost to the Canucks the night before, like 6-0, I think. So we came in the next day like we knew it was going to be, and like. I got in the practice fight. There could have been 3 or 4 throughout the day. Like it was nasty. And you know what? I probably caught the tail end of it. You probably caught a little bit more of it, but like practice fights were like a common thing. And like not a common thing, but they were more.
It happened on good teams. It was a common thing. Yeah. I'll tell you what. It was you fighting your brother. Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a natural thing.
And that's what it was. It was last drill of the day. I cross-checked him. He popped me in the nose. I saw red. Otter jumps in, gloves everywhere. He's having a good laugh out of it. I'm kind of standing there like an idiot. What do? I kind of start skating towards the bench, and it's my favorite part of it all is Schwartzy kind of looks at me with like a shit-eating grin on his face, and he just goes, hit the showers.
Schwartzy is hilarious.
Yeah,
I mean,
all time
he's hilarious.
I'm friend and teammate, but and then me and Sanford grab coffee or buddies. We were buddies before or buddies after. It was just not saying I wanted it to happen, but it was just part of the intensity of what we were operating with at the time.
Yeah, we were going through a losing skid in Vancouver, and Willie Mitchell was one of my favorite teammates, and he was roughing up Mason Raymond in the corner, and I liked Mace, but I wasn't like, but I was just pissed because I'm like, well, Mitchie, why aren't you doing that in the fucking games more? Right? Like, you're picking on a young kid that doesn't even fight, and you're doing, and then that, like you said, I just snapped and I went after him. I was just like, I didn't think, and after that, a couple days later, had a beer with them or whatever, and it is what it is. Like I'll be said, the good teams do that.
So I just want to bring up before I get into some
Hit the showers.
hit the showers, kid. Hey, Schwartzy's so funny with one-liners. Like you don't look at him, from the outside looking in, you don't know him that well, but like when you get to know him in a room, it's comedy.
Fuck, I was a good player, man.
Still a good player.
But before Uppy goes, just on the fighting thing, did you love it? I mean, you did it. I mean, listen, you fucking would block a biscuit with any part of your body, man. Like, the way you would block shots was absolutely insane. But when it came to fighting, was it something you enjoyed? Just part of the good job, you realized you had to do it? Or was the youngster from Thunder Bay, when you dropped the gloves, you really liked doing it?
Well, I actually listened to DeBoer on your podcast a week ago or something. I mean, he kind of talked about it. He was my coach in Kitchener, and I think I had one fight. It wasn't something I really even thought about doing. And then, I went to Wilkes-Barre in the minors with Pittsburgh, and it was kind of something that got brought up to me, and, ended up making a business decision, and kind of kept me around there for a little bit. It was really appreciated in Pittsburgh, and I said, if this is going to keep me around, I'll do it. It wasn't something that came super naturally to me. I think I had set of black eyes for about 4 months, my first 4 months in the AHL, but I wasn't someone who loved it. I love those spur of the moments fights where you made someone fight you, or you're taking care of one of your guys. So I had countless afternoons of anxiety where thinking I had to do the square off fight. I hated those. I just I don't know, the thought of ending up on YouTube or that's where you're gonna get knocked out. It's like when you're squaring up, and then remember the days of Bieksa throwing those Superman punches. I was like, what? I don't want.
What would your old man Oscar always tell you growing up, coming into a fight? What would he always say to you? But I know what it is.
Throw first, ask questions later.
So that's what
I learned that one early in the AHL.
Yeah, my dad would say that too. Like, when I was starting to fight, I had a little more. You had one fight, and then you went into the American League and started chucking them.
I think I had one or two fights in the OHL.
That's crazy. I mean, I had tons of fights league in the American League. So good for you to have the balls to go in there, because that league, if you're going to start chucking them in that league. But that's what my old man told me when I first started fighting. He said, don't even fucking ask them to go. If they look at you and you hear let's, or you see them look at you, just start chucking. Yeah. And that's kind of how I always did it too.
Yeah, and you guys had a talent of understanding the heat of the game, right? And when like a guy is either coming in looking for one, or this is my time to actually get him,
or just knowing the game within the game, who to go after to get someone to maybe fight you, or we're kind of, we're a flat right now.
Yeah.
I didn't mind those, knowing the temperature of the game and the game within the game.
If the coach appreciated it, right? Like,
sure. Or if there was a response from your team. And we always had that.
Obviously, most of the boys did respect it, but sometimes, like, if you fight like that, where he's saying, and the team's flat, like, if the coach would appreciate it, I would like to do it. But if the coach never appreciated it, it made it harder for me. Because obviously your teammates always appreciate it no matter what. But to go out there and get the boys going, those fights are always hard, because you're not really mad. You're just like, all right, I got to fucking get in one here, because boys are, boys had a few too many last time.
I had a few Obes, -3.
Yeah,
I'm just getting in a fight.
Yeah, no,
just to get
sure.
on the score sheet for something else.
Totally.
Yeah,
no,
that was in the younger days.
That's when I was mad, though. -3, I'm like, okay, let me grab some out of here.
Boy, but listen, both of you guys, what you guys did for your career, for your teammates, did not never go unappreciated. This one, you talk back to your old teammates, they all remember the times you guys fucking took couple punches fucking when no one else wanted to, and that's the glory of your guys' role, both of you fuckers.
I didn't block shots like this fucking madman right now. I mean, that's why he's got to
pretend to cut in the rain. You pretend to be in there.
I wouldn't even really pretend. I'd just be like, box out. But
well, don't you remember the early on days in the penalty kill, the right D, that was the strategy. So now the diamond, you mostly sit on options.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was the right D,
had
you
to go
flex out and you eat the right-handed ball.
Ovechkin.
Ovechkin's just standing
and
there.
Stamkos and those guys. That was.
Oh, you're so right.
I'm like, I'll do it. Yeah. And then I just did it. That's how I got on the PK. But it was usually that right D who was eating those bombs.
No, you would. I saw
old
sometimes like at Denver. Yeah, Denver. I played the right side for a bit. Now that you mentioned that, it's like, okay, when it goes up high to them and over to Ovi, you're gonna push out, and I'm like, are you fucking nuts? Push out. How do we get a goalie? fucking Vardamov's making 7 bananas here. Here, Varley, see this one. But yeah, you're right. That was
I did get a wink from Ovechkin one day where I think he like kind of appreciated it. And he gave me a twig one day, and I think there was a little bit of an understanding, like, here, buddy.
Can you sign my calf? It's about fucking swollen. It looks like a softball here. One guy that did his role and played the right way and changed the course of your guys' season and the history of the St. Louis Blues is a guy that Obi played with and one of his best buddies, Ryan O'Reilly.
the fact daddy.
Come summer 2018, Doug Armstrong makes a big trade. Patrick Berglund, who was a longtime guy, leaves. You got Sabatka, who was a great two-way player, leaves, and an up-and-coming Olympian now for the U.S., Tage Thompson, leaves. But in comes Ryan O'Reilly after a stint in Buffalo that didn't go so well. All the Eichel and O'Reilly talk was there, but you guys bring in this guy, and he's a real guy. He's a fucking real human being.
He's a good Irish lad.
He's a good Irish lad. He's a leader. He's a Conn Smythe winner and a champ. But what did that do to that group? Having a guy come in with the ukulele and with the fucking beard.
Charlie boy.
They talk about how big of a pro that guy was and what he added to a group of leaders that you guys already had.
Yeah, I mean, he was huge for our group, off ice, on ice. He just brought a quiet confidence to him and a relentless work ethic. Like, this guy is the amount of time he would spend getting better after practice. And we had a lot of that, but he just dragged a lot of guys into it as well. And then what he does as a player, kind of goes unsung. I feel like he's under every puck. He wins every puck battle defensively. He's a true defensive number one center. To bring a guy like that in who's going to start a game, he's going to kill a first penalty, he's going to finish a game, he's going to finish a penalty kill. They're invaluable. There's not so many of them in the league, and at the time he was one of the best, and he's obviously playing like it to this day. So
yeah, I mean, first time I saw Fact Daddy, I've told the story before. We're listening to some shitty music in Denver, right? I'm like my 5th or 6th year in the league, but I'm on a one-way fucking haircut deal to get there. So I'm just kind of coming in trying to do the right things there. Finally, I had enough. I'm like, give me that fucking auxiliary card there. And I'm not even a real good DJ, Bobble. And I just fire on some fucking My Morning Jacket, and he's coming out of the gym, and it's like bump, 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 and he just comes bouncing down like fucking that with this straight brim hat on. I'm like, oh, Riley, fuck. I'm like, we're gonna have lunch with this guy after practice. But I just knew he was a special person. And then you saw the way he played, like, the man, his work ethic, like you said, was crazy. And his belief, I got a funny story, actually. You guys played your last game that year in Anaheim before you were going on All-Star. I think the game was in San Jose that year. And in fact, Daddy crashed the night on my pad or whatever, went out for dinner and some drinks. And he was like, oh, I'm telling you, man, you guys were in dead last. Or maybe just fighting your way out of the bottom or whatever. And he's like, there's this team where we can win a cup. And I'm like, fuck, Fact Daddy. How many Jameson shots you had tonight from that? He's like, no, I'm telling you, he's a big locker room guy, as you know, right? And like, I'm like, all right, fucking right, Fact Daddy. And then sure enough, away you boys go. So it was crazy that he already could see it, kind of.
Yeah, like I said, he just has this quiet confidence about him, and he believed we were capable of anything, and he was right. He and like you said, he brought so much to our locker room, whether it was just having a good time, laughs, can make fun of himself, all-time ultimate teammate, hell of a hockey player.
How's the hockey player? Just a hell of a guy. Bonnaroo's with him. We're lucky to get him on the, during the middle of his career and the prime, where we're like, Fact Daddy, we got a spot on the bus at Bonnaroo. But can you make it? And he'd come in with fucking jean shorts, no undies.
He looks like he was playing on the fucking. Yeah, like he was just set on there. By what time are you going on?
Yeah.
This is my point earlier. Like, not only to play in the league for a little while, but I played with so many characters. Like, not just guys that come to the rink and check in and go home. Like, true characters. Like, we had the Big Rig, O'Reilly, Bozak, Shanner, like Schwartzy, like true like characters, like personalities, Benner,
Yeah, it's
it was lucky.
It was a well-made fucking group of guys. Yeah. Well made.
I'll never forget when Fact Daddy showed up to his first Bonnaroo. He had those tight jean shorts that Johnny Vervado's fucking dress shoes that were just nasty, right? And I'm like, dude, how's your underwear situation? And like, you got the long ones we wear under. He's like, no, just my normal undies. I'm like, fuck, fella, you're gonna be in one after night one. Like, he's like, no, I'll be all right. Fuck, he woke up. He's like, oh, fuck, you got any monkey ball, man? I need something. Like, here, I got Lux. I remember he was just shaved after night one. I'm like, fella, you got to bring the long undies.
Those are the wounds from Bonnaroo that we all go through.
One thing about Factory before we move on to hurry ups. like you said, he took forever to get out of the rink, right? Like,
He loved it. He's
loved it. And like after practice, you know, he'd still be on the ice, and I'd go up and get my bike ride in or whatever I had to do, and he'd still be out there, and I'd be like, I'm going for lunch. I'll see you later for dinner or whatever, right? And then after games, he would take, especially after a loss, maybe not so much after a win, he would still do all his stuff, but after a loss, he would be in there forever, working out, doing his hand stuff. And I'd go back to my place, and I'd be just sitting there, right? And I'm just wondering, and then sure enough, bing, fucking Ryan O'Reilly. I've been home for fucking 30 minutes. He's like,
They drove a few in.
yeah, he's like, you want to go for one or what? I'm like, fuck, all right, fella, yeah, I was just about to fucking take an amble, but yeah, I'll come meet you. So like, it took him a while to get over the losses, but then once he got over it, he got over it. He wanted to enjoy himself, yeah.
So I want to just go down, you know, you win a Stanley Cup, dude. You fucking hoist Lord Stanley in an epic Game 7 fashion. And I think what stands out to me the most from watching that from the outside in was Chief's message to you guys before that game in that room.
Yeah.
And we all got dressed in that Boston dressing room. You now have memories in that room unlike anyone else. But you're going into a Game 7. You fucking know that the Stanley Cup's in the building. You know, what about that day now resonates that'll never change for you? Like, what memories come back to you that just is, you know, ingrained in your mind?
So going back after we lost Game 6, you know, we have to fly to Boston. There's 2 days in between. And what really sticks out in my head was like, we were on the plane, we're playing cards, we're yucking it up. And it was like, almost like we were glad we had a couple more nights on the road together. And we were playing cards, and it was like, there was such a quiet confidence. Like, we're going back and like, we're winning. I remember guys looking at cards and be like, we're winning, you know, and then you're jokingly confident, but there was a seriousness to it. And that really, really sticks out in my head because the night before games in hotel, like even before Game 7, we played cards. We were sitting there till like 9:30, 10. You know, night before we're playing Schnarple, 7-0. Like we were always together.
Yeah.
We were always together.
And you guys were great on the road all playoffs.
Yeah.
So that probably made you guys feel a little
Big
more
time.
confident. Yeah.
Big time. But yeah, we just had this quiet confidence. We just went about our business. You know, we knew we were, you know, not underdogs, but I don't think anyone was truly expecting us to win from that perspective, especially going back to Boston. But
yeah, I'll remember. And like, you know, I got to give up dog credit. Like I went through with my first year with the Ducks, right? I got traded and then my boys went on to win. It's hard. Like you're pulling for your guys, but there's also a part of you that's like, fuck, I want to be in this fight with the guys, right? And the whole way through, he was pulling so hard for you boys. And it was Game 7, and I'm playing golf at Big Canyon. And he's like, what do you think happens tonight? Like, they're going to find, I'm like, buddy, Binnington stands on his head. The fact that he finds a way to fucking grease one in, and the boys get her done. I was just like, I just had that feeling of, I'm like, they're going to win this hockey game. Like, they've come this far.
Yeah, it was
Even to lose Game 6 at home. Yeah.
What did Lord Stanley, like, what did it look like, feel like for the first time you ever fucking stared at it, bud?
oh man,
Sexy, eh?
yeah,
Fucking sexy.
beautiful, man.
Like a good piece of pussy.
Beautiful.
Like, better than that.
Like
Yeah.
it's better than all those models in
it's
Hollywood.
better than
Eh?
that.
It's better than those models in Hollywood, bud.
Yeah. I mean, it's everything you think it was going to be. It's just a rush of joy and excitement, and you know, a wave of, you know, all the people that helped you get there comes over you, and you're emotional, and you think you're going to cry, and then you see your parents out there. It was just a wave after wave of emotions, you know, and just a release almost, because you know that 2 months is just like an epic grind of playing hurt, and you know, and then when you get her back to St. Louis and we get to like share with the city, is get to do the parade. And, you know, St. Louis is a team that, you know, they've been around for a long time, and they had many cup runs, and I don't think St. Ise missed the playoff much in like the last 55 years. Like one of the highest
Prongs and errors and all
they
that.
always were like in it, and like their fans are like I have to be some of the best in the world. Like, and then to finally get it done for them, and we saw it all rush out at the parade. It was just like this weight that flowed right off the city's back, and you know, we could feel that when we were taking her down Clark Street there.
I want to talk to you about the parade here. I got a couple little notes here about the parade. But listen, like I've been lucky enough to, you know, I went to Factor Stanley Cup party. I've known some guys that have won it, but obviously all the cool things that go into winning it. I think to me, of a guy who didn't win it, like how cool is it that you can always fucking touch it and always grab it? Like whenever it's around, and if you're in the same fucking room as her, you just grab her. Hey, I could say like an old girlfriend, like, how you doing, baby? Nice to see you. There you go. You know what I mean? Like that. Like, that's got to be the coolest thing to me. Like,
Hell yeah.
fuck, anywhere that baby goes, you can touch it.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing feeling. And then just to go back to the group, like we're bonded forever. You know, you're gonna have a whatever year reunion, and then you're gonna have another one, and then we're all gonna be 85, and there might be another one then, and just like I don't know, you just that group that we got to do it with. That's what I try and preach to some kids now. Is like you could come to the rink and play hockey and go home, but try and form these bonds. Like you guys created it in your career and you're best friends, and I've guys in my wedding party that I play with. It's just like embrace like the relationships and the bonds of this game. They're the best thing in the world. It's different than any other sport. I know it is. So, and I embrace it.
Yeah, that's well said. Yeah, it's like Rod the Bod. I don't know what year it was since Carolina won their cup. What they won it in 2004. So what is that? 30 years? Whatever. Rod was talking to his team, and he said, "See all my buddies up there." He's like, even though they're all old and fat now. He's like, we could share this forever.
Yeah.
Like we can share this for the rest of our lives. So I guess that's 20-year anniversary, not 30, but
You said you had a couple notes on the
I
parade.
got notes. Yeah, I got fucking notes here.
You got to bring up the
So
notes.
listen, you guys, he's gotten softer as he's turned into a father and he's getting a little softer. He's like, lets Flowers off the hook here. And I get it. He was important here to fucking, Fact Daddy even said, and I know you're one of the nicest guys ever, you said. But let's be honest, it was a fucking disgrace that what went on here. I'll tell you when the check mark when my antennas started going up a bit. Obviously, I knew he was there. He bought his own jersey with double zero Flowers on. I'm like, the team give you that? He's like, no, I bought it. I'm like, you had to buy that, eh? Well, that shows you right there that you're not on the squad. But anyways, after you guys went into Beantown, I see him on the ice. I'm like, all right, he's in Boston. He can get on the ice. I wasn't thrilled, but I'm like, all right. Then I'm watching NHL Network, and you guys are rolling into the fucking hotel in Vegas with all your roller bags. And there comes Flowers with his roller bag. I'm like, I didn't even know he owned a roller bag. First of all, what's in there? Probably like crackers or something. I'm like, this guy's wheeling in with the team. And then before that, I must have been before that because then he's up there on stage on the parade. When did
Army
did
say?
anyone not say, who is this guy? Or like, what went
I
on?
think someone said I don't remember signing that effing guy or something. I don't know, but give him credit. Like he just lingered around enough. Like most people would go home.
He's been doing that. How old was he? 45 years old? He's been lingering his whole fucking life, bro. He's a lingerer, man.
Yeah,
No,
I think he had more
saw
fun
a
with that
window.
thing than anybody did.
Yeah,
God,
he did.
I had a hard time, Bobble, as one of his best buddies. I had a hard time with him hoisting over his head because I just thought it was disrespectful to AU boys who went out there and blocked a million pucks and fucking went 2 months through the war. And guys like me and him and Loops that are his best buddies that, been to 2 conference finals. And I got to the second round 3 years in a row. And Loops went to the conference finals. And we would give anything to fucking hoist that thing. And when he was hoisting over his head, I'm like, that to me, I was like, when I see this fucking guy, and I saw him at a restaurant, and I sat down, I'm like, come outside with me right now. And he's like, what? I'm like, and I pulled him outside. I'm like, I'm telling you right fucking now, this is, and that's kind of what I said to him. I said, I don't care about anything else, but I thought you disrespected what it takes to hoist that thing. Just because you're a good guy and the boys love you. That's only where
I get it because you played. But I did see a lot of people at a lot of the cup parties would hoist it over the head when the guy wasn't looking. The thing, Obes, that gets me the most now about Flowers is he's rooting for the Flyers again. We brought him in, we took him through it all.
I know, dude.
But
And
that's
he just,
how quick things can change.
It's not right.
That is Larry
It's not
Flowers
right.
to a T.
It's
right?
not right.
He was that was his 1 year to like the Blues, and now he's like fly. He's a Philly mutant. I love him to death, but
that's so funny. Yeah, that's so funny. Do you want to talk about his game in Aspen? That was, I thought the girl that he was dating at the time, I was like, she might break up with you after this game. It was a tough performance, man. He fell over the red line a couple times, and at least his teeth were looking nice and white.
Yeah, no, he was. And then, thank God he didn't get a goal on Fleury. Like, he had a wide open chance, because I would have never heard the end of it.
Chance.
It would have been it. It would have been it. I think it's like he gets a backdoor pass from Forsberg and like fucking throws it right at his pad. I go, thank God that didn't go up high in the net, because like we would never hear the end of it.
It'd be in his book.
Yeah, it'd be in his book.
Poorest Richard man that ever lived.
Yeah.
Him living in Aspen's got to bring the real estate down a little bit, right? If anything could
You'd hope so. Yeah, you'd hope so.
But I listen, I'm hard on Flyers, always have been. I obviously love him like a brother. But I guess the one thing it would show you is loyalty and a good friend, right? Like he was good friends to all you boys. Updog brought him in the loop. you guys took him on as part of your brother and team, and
I guess a fun group of guys who liked having fun people around.
Yeah.
That was it. And
you get rewarded with that.
And St. Louis did a hell of a job of just bringing great people in, character people. Shaddy, one of our good buddies, he's a character, like just a good time. And Stasny, so I'm just very, looking back, just lucky, man, just to end up where I ended up and play there. Like, never thought in 10 million years you play on one team for 10 years. For it to be St. Louis was pretty special.
Let me guide you into the next thing. Obi always says this about me. You were in my game where I played my last shift ever. And I human wrecking ball Luke Shannon ruptured my kidney. And then you actually took good care of me for the 4 days that I was just banged up and fucking almost killed myself. But one thing about me is I remember my last shift. I remember my last game.
I think that's so cool.
And to your, to the way you went out, Bobo, and you had a hell of a career, you play in Utah for the inaugural season. Ryan Smith brings you in, knowing what type of guy you are. Bill Armstrong brings you in. You got a good bunch of guys, but your last game is in St. Louis. How special is that, dude? How special is that?
It was super special. A little nerve-wracking because I hadn't played for like 3.5 months before.
See if the legs how the legs feel.
Does anyone
can do it?
A couple nights in Nashville before that, and just very lucky that the coach even kept that in the back of his mind. That he gave me the chance. He didn't have to do that. That organizationally, Utah, what they did for me my last year, I really have to thank them a lot. Because I had nothing going into that summer, at the end of that summer, and they brought me in just to be an older guy. And I really appreciate for what they did for me. And to that last game, to play in St. Louis, to bring my family in. And the writing was on the wall. I kind of knew this could be it. So brought the family in, got to shake a bunch of the boys' hands after the game, and parents got to sit with the owner. So
little video tribute, bud?
Yeah, they did the video
Yeah,
tribute.
well worth the video tribute.
Yeah,
right
I
here.
guess so.
We often chirp a lot of the guys out there who get these video tributes now. Dude.
Guy blocked
yeah.
biscuits with his face.
Yeah.
He deserves a video tribute.
Yeah. Thankful to the Blues and Utah there for making that happen. That was pretty cool to at least get one last game in, and I remember it.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to pretend I'm best buddies with Ryan Smith, but we've got to spend a little bit of time with him. I mean, what a great guy. I mean, that's just going to bleed down from the ownership because he's such a genuine good dude, and that's cool. Like you said, they didn't have to do that. So classy. That's a classy thing.
Yeah.
I want to go back a little bit. Sorry, I forgot to when we were talking about your run here. We can't have you on and not talk about the goal, the playoffs, but that's all bud. Fucking ball.
Remember where we watched that, dude? In LA at the fucking Korean bar before we went out to that concert?
Yeah.
We were watching it in this Korean little bar, man. We eat like tacos, me, him, and Loops. We're going to a concert. It might have, I don't know, it was probably something we were getting banged up. And we watched it, dude, and the play coming in, dude, where you brought it to the backhand.
He did something. What you did?
No, he came in down the side. He got the pass. Like he made a little beaver tail. Someone Eddie fed you as you came down.
Pass.
And then did you black out? You blacked out.
Who shoots a backhand from the high slot?
Yeah, but it was kind of shelfy too, wasn't it?
I got good wood on it.
Yeah.
I had my old jury curve at the time. So it was,
Yeah.
But, I mean.
It's a hell of a celebration.
Wow, yeah.
Right in front of the bench. You went right to the
pure raw emotion there.
You know what was great about that? Sorry to cut you off. Is I didn't score many in my career, but how happy the bench was for you when you scored. Like you were stoked, but then I remember seeing how happy the boys were for you. I'm like, that's what it's all about. Because the boys were like, fucking it. I could just imagine, right? Like, not a boy bobble. Like, you do your job every night. You fight, you block shots, you hit, you do all the dirty stuff. Now we're in the Western Conference Finals, and you go a little spink dink with the backhand.
That's what I always like too. In regular season, whenever time I scored, the boys would come to the bench and they'd be laughing. I'm like, boys, like, I could put a couple in. That one in that game was a little bit more intensity to it, but like, come on, fuck.
Yeah, dude.
I hear you're likely to get a good chuckle.
I finally got one of you guys not entertained. So, what are we talking about here?
The boys did that to me in band too. I finally got one in the regular season, and they were just all. I'm like, fuck, boys, jeez, fuck, it's not a comedy act here, right?
I remember my favorite one all time with the boys having a good laugh was I just took a one-on-one against McDavid and stopped them.
Good job.
And I got to the bench. They're laughing and cheering just for stopping a one-on-one.
You must have bobbled it, eh?
Yeah. Dude, what was it? I mean, you played against some great players, right? Ovi and Crosby in their prime, but I always say Ovechkin for me when I first got in the league, when I got traded for Anaheim to Tampa in that old Southeast Division, going out on the ice with Ovi, I was like, I should probably not be out here. He was the best probably player I've ever played against at that certain moment. What was it like out there against McDavid? Because I can only imagine, bro.
Yeah, I remember his rookie year. He blew my doors off from basically his blue line all the way in shorts. He still gives me shit about that one. But yeah, it's just not a player you really have seen. We've not seen the ability to go at that speed and that high level of skill. Makar has a dynamicness to him. But this guy, what he's doing is just incredible. So, and then, in terms of the guys that can make you look stupid and you look back in your career, like Patty Kane was a guy who, I remember early on Datsuk had a 4-on-4 shift with him. I'm like, these guys will put you on highlight reels. Cooch can kind of do that now. There's always that list of guys that, they can take it down to a pace because you're scared to go at them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Malkin. Malkin Kuyak, he was so sick in his prime.
They still know you're going to cross-check him if you get by, though. Yeah. So they know they're going to eat a little wood. Like, I'm not going to get past O'Brien or fucking Robert Bortuzzo without taking a fucking slash here.
They kept changing the rules on you, ball boy, as your career went on there.
Buddy. And they finally got me out here.
At one point, I'm like, I definitely couldn't play out.
When they got rid of the cross-check, that was probably the biggest adjustment.
And honestly, the game misses the cross-check, man.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, listen, there's a time and a place that you can't cross-check, but in front of the net, like, that's where it really... Remember, it was Mayfield that cross-checked Kucherov, and they had a big old stink about it, and the next year they put this cross-checking rule. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, you remember you got right in between the elbow pad and the shoulder pad.
And especially farther than their arm. Yeah, your guys' fucking office.
Well, go in here, and you were taught, and you'd up being here.
I know.
If people came here, they were going to take a beating, and that's kind of... can only do so much now.
Yeah. Bobble, how's retirement treating you, fella? Do you miss it? I mean, you look great, Aspen. Fuck, you were just out there slowing her down, dusting her off. It was great, but how's it been for you, buddy?
You know what? It's been a good adjustment. I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to still be playing. I would have taken a contract every year, so like I couldn't get one, and I kind of did. So, but in terms of adjustments and pivoting over, I've been very fortunate to get in with the Blues, and lucky that there was a chance for me to get my foot in the door. And so that's kind of been, that's taken away, a little bit of the toughness of the adjustment. You still get to travel a little bit. I'm doing some scouting, hitting junior college, some pro. So, just very grateful to the Blues and Army and Steiner to give me a chance just to kind of get my feet wet. So still skating. Got our alumni skates, skate what ethnic, wide man.
I was just saying over the Olympic break here, you still keep yourself in good shape. You might want to get your agent to call your old buddy Craig Berube there in Toronto. They might need you on the right side. I ain't fucking kidding, man. I'm not even kidding. Right? You can play 20 games down the stretch, 23 games.
Give them a solid 11.
Yeah, that's
11. That's all they need, actually. They just need some toughness and character.
I mean, look at Troy Stetcher. I give this kid credit.
I give him so much.
When he came in Vancouver, I used to watch the team all the time. Travis Green was the coach. I was doing some stuff for Sportsnet. I'm like, this guy's a fucking American League player at best. Like, how is he in the league? And he's just on hard work, and he does have some skill. He can pass. He's intelligent, and now he's literally... I watched him play last night in Calgary. He was arguably their best defenseman. It's probably why they're... No disrespect to stats, but why they're not in the playoffs. But he's carved out a great career.
Yeah, super impressive what he's doing, and he's... he lays his body on the line. He's a pretty intelligent player, and he can make plays come on his own end, and you can play for a long time like that. And $1 million a year, pretty good career hopes.
I remember like near the end of my career, like, oh, what are they offering you? $850. I'm like, fuck, that's fucking brutal. Now you retire, like, I'll fucking go through that wall for $850. Who do you want me to fight? Right now, I'll fight that guy right now. You get in the real world, you're like, it is impossible.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking soft landing's important, and I'm happy that you're involved.
Yeah. And that was, like, that was the thing. Like, when I retired, Bobo, I had a little, bitter taste in my mouth of just, what I went through with Hartley and then going back down the jungle. And I kind of just said, fuck it, I want to get away from the game. And for a couple of years, I did do that. But looking back, it was a big mistake that I made. Like, we're so lucky to be in the NHL for, a long time. And then, like, you got to keep those connections going. And, like, anybody that retires, if they ask me for my advice, I'm like, stay in the game. Maybe you'll figure out something else down the road and you have a different, but don't just get away from the game because it's given us so much.
100%. And then at the end of the day, the people in this game, whether the one I've crossed about or ones I've heard about, it's super unique. And I'll take that to my grave with me. It's a very special game, and the people in it are very special. And the bonds you create last forever. Look at us up, dog.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
No, for sure, dude.
Oh.
I wouldn't give up any of my relationships or moments in my career or now past career. I'm happy that we were able to start something like this.
Yeah, we're lucky
and
to
have
have
you
it.
guys on to tell your story, because it's this. You leave this game, it's all about your relationships. It's all about the stories you made, and for us to share that with like the listeners, the beauties back home in Thunder Bay, Fort Mac,
All listeners, all
you know, it's
Thunder Bay.
but they just love it. And you know, I do want to ask you before we let you go or whatever, but you know, things are changing at the Garden in St. Louis here next summer. Alex Steen, who's had a Hall of Fame career, to me, Hall of Fame teammate, is going to take over the St. Louis Blues from arguably a incredible human and Doug Armstrong. But how's Steener internally? Like, is he fired up for the opportunity? I know things in St. Louis aren't going so well, but this guy he worked his balls off on the ice. He left it all out there. You know, how many times that guy play hurt? But what he's now done to put himself in a great spot for even the Swedish hockey and now the St. Louis Blues, like, you got to see a guy now that's pumped up to take the St. Louis Blues over.
Yeah, very much so. You kind of summed it up there. His knowledge of the game is, so incredible. I still pick his brain and I'm learning every day. His work ethic and kind of what we touched about early on before is, those runs and what he picked up in those runs where we had chances to win the Stanley Cup is what he's looking to bring. And, just a high character human being who, has a high appreciation for others like that. And, a guy who, the city of St. Louis means a lot to, and I kind of touched about it and what it means to me, but, he truly does bleed for that city. And, he's the right man for the job.
He'll be picking up the tabs, eh?
Yeah. Or no, this stage has. I got to give him a team card.
Card.
I could put down the Blues.
Yeah, 100%.
The thing about Steener was this guy like loved him, and then Factor loved him, and then I got to know you and you loved him, and I'm like, fucking how good. And then I met him. You guys came in and played the Ducks at Red O.
Yeah.
And I talked to him for like 10 minutes. I go up here. I'm like, okay, I get it. I get why.
Yeah.
And I only spent one night with him, but I'm like, I get why, why everyone loves this guy so much. And I didn't get to snap it around with him.
Yeah. The stuff he did for the locker room,
Yeah.
and it was always kind of observing. He could kind of knew when a guy was off or why he was off. The way he kind of took in the locker room blew my mind. And I remember him like grabbing me a few times, and I'm like, I didn't think I visibly showed that I was struggling or in a tough spot, and he kind of was able to know. So yeah, that's pretty special guy to have in their locker room.
That's really
leadership.
That's really special, because looking back, like, you never know what anyone's going through, right? I'll go back to Colin Wilson, who was a rookie in Nashville, and I liked Willie, but I thought he was a cocky, young first rounder or whatever he was that wasn't playing hard enough, and I was hard on him. Like, I was hard on him in practice, I was hard on him day to day, and then fast forward, he was dealing with fucking depression, and like I didn't have a feel for that. All I cared about was I needed this guy to play harder. That's all I thought about. So that's a unique skill for Steener to have, man.
100%. I mean, and you're playing in the NHL. It's just so easy to get focused on yourself and, how I'm playing. And, Steener was obviously a guy who kind of opened himself up to everyone else and kind of, was able to take care of himself, but also take care of others. And he wasn't the only guy on that team, but he was definitely, the guy that we leaned on for a while.
Like, if you had to call him, numerous times a guy on a team or someone would call him and he'd take the call. He wouldn't not pick it up. He'd take the call. He'd listen to your question. And if he's with his kids or whatever, he'd be like, hey, listen, I'll call you back and give me like an hour, give me 20 minutes. He would call you back and he had already thought about the question. He had already had the answer for the question and it led you in the right way. And he ate a lot of people's issues, man. And fucking, it was a special thing. He's special leader.
So he was like born to be a GM almost,
He would,
right?
yeah. I mean, in Army, no question that he left the game, and Army was like, this team needs a guy like you to be the guy.
Yeah.
So,
Bobble, first of all, I got your little resume up here, but it's nice. Utah Hockey Club, that's always going to be on your resume. That's nice.
First alumni.
Yeah, I love Hockey Club. I love that they're called the Hockey Club. And listen, I'm a good Ontario lad like yourself, but I've never made it up to Thunder Bay, Ontario, fella. I've never got quite that north, but it's a hockey factory. Mike Ridger, Stahl, Taylor Pyatt, the Bear, I'm missing tons of guys probably, but what was it like growing up there? Like how just hockey all the time, or just good outdoor boy up there in Thunder Bay?
Yeah, small town living. All it was just sports and buddies. And when you're in a place that's that cold, you have no choice but to become tight with people. You're always just having house parties. You're getting together. You're on the outdoor rinks. We lived on outdoor rinks. Still best buddy. I mean, all my best buddies are still from Thunder Bay. You know, these are guys you grew up with, elementary school. And yeah, hockey was just what you did. Yeah, kind of pops.
Fucking lot of Stanley Cups there.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, I think for a small town Canada, you got the most cups ever.
Yeah.
Between those Dahl brothers.
All boys.
Look at this where it is. It's fucking up there. Old
fella.
little Pie Island there. Pie Island to the right.
Oh, yeah. You're looking for -40, -50 in the winter. It's no joke.
That's why Oscar had so much fun when he'd come down on those father trips. Hey, get out of the Thunder Bay. Where that Scott would just be sending it. Oh yeah, the Tampa Bay father trip. Oh my God. I had to peel my dad out of the bar.
Good guys from Thunder Bay, though. Like Taylor Pyatt, one of my favorite teammates, good Thunder Bay.
Northern Ontario.
Yeah.
More
Alberta.
Or like a Western Canada, I find.
I'll bring you to Western League, bud. I hung out with all Western Leaguers. As soon as I turned pro, Loops, Kunitz.
Yeah.
Joel Stapp. I love the Western Leaguers.
But yeah, it's a unique town. I still go back. I'm building a little place on the lake on my sister's lake, so I'll do, July and August up there. That's about it.
Oh, no, but listen, I only go up, I go up to, the Muskokas or the Kawarthas for just a week with my nephews and my family, but how nice is it to be on the lake in the sun? I wish I would have bought a fucking pad back in the day. Can't afford
a lot of things we should have bought back in the day.
Yeah, fuck.
But, it's a good town, boys.
Hey, I got to ask you about Thunder Bay, too. Like Mike Richards, some of these fishes he catches up there, bro, they're like...
Yeah, he's on like Lake of the Woods.
Yeah, he's like Kenora, right?
From Kenora.
But then he's in the middle of the fucking...
Fuck, these look like dinosaur fish, these catching.
He's probably catching sturgeon.
I mean, they're...
Yeah, he's sturgeon.
Ogopogo. It's the fucking Ogopogo there.
It's fucking Ogopogo, fella. Fuck me, we do a little fella tour at Thunder Bay there once your lake house is done, eh? Thunder Bay.
You get schmaltzy up there.
Oh, schmaltzy with a little radio
and a pontoon. Fucking get out there.
The only thing I remember about Thunder Bay, too, is the movie Youngblood, when their team from Thunder Bay, erratic, tough guys, like all the boys from Thunder Bay are coming down. Look out here. But
I remember in junior, we had Ogie Oglethorpe actually came in and talked to our junior team. I saw a signed picture of Ogie Oglethorpe.
No shit. I could do with this guy.
That's Ogie. He's suspended. He's not playing. That's Ogie. Hey, watch out for him, number 21, 22. He's not playing. He's suspended. Bobble, man, listen, this is a lot of fun, buddy. You're welcome anytime. Congrats on a hell of a career, buddy. Enjoy retirement. And, bud.
Appreciate it, boys. Thanks for having me. Hell of a job we got going on here.
You're the man, bud.
Thanks, boys.
Love you.